It's your girl, Farron Kia from the Love Thy Belly podcast. You can find us on Anchor, and now you can find us live on TNG Video and Love Thy Belly YouTube channel. Tonight we have an extra special episode. We are going to meet with the Boss Babes of Louisville. These are the women that you want to get to know, talk to, purchase their products, purchase their services. You're going to get to hear about everything dope about being a black woman in business, being an entrepreneur, as well as all the trials and tribulations that we have to go through. I'm so excited for all of these dope bodies that we have here today. Everybody comes from so many different venues and so many different aspects of the business world. I'm going to give them the chance to introduce themselves, and then we'll get right down into it. I'd like to start over here with Kia.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kia Middleton. I am the up-and-coming entrepreneur of Kia Vision Model Development and Coaching, where I am looking to coach up-and-coming new models, whether you're a child, whether you're a mother, whether you're just somebody who just wants to start something new and learn some confidence. Come and see me.
I am Dominique Clark, the owner of the Library by Dom. I am in a stationery shop, so it's very much for the culture, what I consider not suitable for the workplace. All of my products have swear words. They're very much for the culture, but they're very much real, very much like myself.
I am Zuri. I am the creator of Sit Pretty. There's a couple business behind me as well. I'm also a travel agent. But my main focus right now is my Sit Pretty. That's my baby.
Amen. Oh, girl.
I am Mika Sharice, and I am the owner and the creator of the Garden Community Event Space here in the lovely area of downtown Louisville. I am also a certified life coach and the owner of Love and Light Coaching.
So like I said, dynamic boss women about to take over the world in all different avenues, venues, spaces. If you do not know their name, if you do not know their business, take this opportunity now to look them up. At the end of the episode, we will give you all of their social media information, and you're going to want to follow them immediately. Now, like I said, these are boss babes, so we don't have time to play around. We're getting right to it, straight to the nitty-gritty of everything business and everything that they've been experiencing over this time. A lot of them had the opportunity to open and start their businesses in the year of 2020, and we know that 2020, no matter what everybody said, was the year of the black woman. So that's why we're here today, to talk about what it was to be a black woman in 2020, in 2021, starting your own business, piloting your own business, running shit for yourself. So ladies, what is your why? And you can take that opportunity to answer the question as you think about it and as you choose to. We don't have to go in any particular order. Y'all know here, Love Thy Belly's podcast, we just kind of cool, we talk, it's dialogue. So what is your why?
Okay, I can go. Bring it up close so you can hear me. No, but my why, it was always my kids, myself. Like, I know my kids is always going to be there. I'm the mother, but my why is my husband. Like, the man is dope in real life. And I could be biased because he's my husband, but he is really dope in real life and supports everything that I want, everything that I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to do this. He's like, okay, if that's what you want to do. And I'm like, man, I shouldn't do it. He's like, well, that's what you wanted to do. You don't listen. But I'm going to support you. But no, so to see him, how hard he works his 9 to 5, because he doesn't get to go home. I mean, well, he gets to come home, but he doesn't stay home like I do. But him to work his 9 to 5 and then come home and put in hours after that. Amen. And I'm like, okay, you work every nerve system, like my whole entire nerve system. But I got you. Like, we going to do it. But yeah, my husband is definitely my why.
Partnership.
I will say that I am a jack of all trades, fair knows. I am good at a lot of things. And it really took her to really tell me, like, you're really good at this thing. You should, start a business and make it a thing. So I really just went out there and I was like, okay, I'll try it. And then I started doing tote bags, and really I started with customs, but I'm an introvert, so custom items don't really work for me because I don't like talking to people, and that's honest.
You gotta do a lot of talking with some custom.
I won't. You gotta do a lot of.
Can you put this on my bag?
And so shortly after the custom shop was closed because people were really like, I need you to change this and change this, and I thought my art was beautiful, and they didn't think so.
Customers are difficult, girl.
Right? So custom, I was like, I'm not doing that. So I started just creating things that I liked, and you can either buy them or you don't. I would hope you buy them, but I don't care if you don't.
Because you're still going to make it.
I'm still going to do what I do. So now I sell on platforms. I sell on the Etsy platform. And and this year, well, in 2020, I kind of tracked just like with a map, my sales map. And I got all the states except for like the really weird ones that are like, not for us. Where the black population is probably very small. So, but for the most part, I 46 out of the 50 states, so I didn't do bad for 2020. So, thank you. But I really just wanted to find something. I am a public servant, and if you know anything about public servants, baby, we don't get paid no money, and I need a little extra. Because I like to trip and eat brunch all the time. And that costs money. Right, and that costs money.
Day drinking and brunch is the move.
And that's why I need extra.
School husbands at work, I'm like, where my friends at? Let's go.
And so that's my why. I need extra. I just want to live a life of luxury.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Kudos to that, because we always need extra, so that's also a part of my why. But the major part of my why, and I know it's going to sound from here to here, but I'm going to connect it to. I am a social justice person. I like to make change in any form or fashion that I can and anywhere that I can. But what I learned through 2020 is I'm not a protester. Like, it took everything out of me to do that. Like, I got sick and everything. So as I fall into place with this conversation, I was modeling at the same time. So I decided, like, you can do social change in different areas of life. You don't have to be like discrimination, oppression. It don't have to be that. So I decided to take my fight to fashion.
Come on.
So my fight with fashion is these stupid industry standards that they have, that you can't be super dark skinned or milk chocolate, or you can't be short, you can't be this, you can't be that. Everybody's always telling you what you can and can't be. Okay, babe? We not a Kia Vision. You can be who you want to be, what you want to be, and we're going to get you there. So I fight my social things through fashion. I'm a dark skinned girl. I'm just now getting popular. It was a hard fight for me to get here. Skipped over all the time just based on little bitty things. So I just want the up-and-coming people in the industry to know that don't let no no's, don't let no naysayers, don't let anything stop you from being who you want to be, even in the fashion industry, because that's where they will tear you apart. So, yeah, that's my spiel. I like social change, and I want to change things.
Ooh. Let's see, my why is going to be real simple. It's going to sound real selfish, but my why is me.
Come on. Come on.
The husband and the kids, if you were here for the opening, then you understand my husband is amazing. And the building would not be open if it was not for him. I would love to say that my children inspired me to do great things. However, this is for me.
Amen.
I have lived the last almost 40 years of my life catering to everybody else, doing what everybody else wanted me to do, being the person that they wanted me to be, dressing how they wanted me to dress, talking how they wanted me to talk. You're a little too extra, calm it down. You're a little too black, bring that in a little bit. You're a little too white, go over there. So I decided to take control of my life and do this for me. So everything that I do is centered around personalities of me. Like this building, if you walk in it and you see the organizations that enter this building, they all reflect images of me and what I aspire to be or what I am inspired by. My coaching business, Love and Light, is exactly who I am, love and light. Like, I want to make sure that the people around me get love and light from me every day. So it's very...
People need it, baby. People walk around here in darkness.
It is very... This journey is very, very, very personal. Very personal. This is all for me.
What I do and who I do it for, and how I come up with it up in the studio. All I want for my birthday is a garden girl. Garden girl.
Period. Because I know I will be turning 40 this year. So yeah,
we turning up.
What the 40
are turning up. I heard 40 is going up.
Listen, I turned 40. it's on a Saturday, and I got my own space.
That's what I'm saying. Are we in here?
We in here.
The end period.
It sounds like a Kia Vision garden.
I mean, we can make it do what it do.
A garden vision.
Yes.
I saw you partnering with Astina. We already like it. So, hey, just in case.
We can have a sip.
Yeah.
Love to sip in the garden vision.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
And I'm here for it.
It will be as long as it's extra
collaborative. That's what I heard.
As long as it's
Sponsored
super
by
extra, then we are good to go. Oh,
Did I tell y'all we like to have a good
I
time
felt
here at
you
Love
when you
That
came
Belly.
into the room. You see how I came and had a
We love to have a good
conversation
time. We love to make sure that everybody understands that business is not always going to be one way.
Yes.
There's never going to be a time where like your business is just straightforward on what is going to be happening that's going to be great, that's going to be amazing, it's going to always work out. That's not going to happen. That's not what business is. It's not what it looks like. That's not even how life works. And so my next question for our amazing participants is, what has been your biggest hardship within the business realm?
She's ready.
Ooh,
Listen, support and support from people that look like you is a challenge because we cannot get out of that mindset of competing. And what I've learned is that some of us don't even realize that we're competing. It's just that, I had that same idea, so I'm going to go ahead and do it first, fast, and better than the next person. Why is there 7 events of the same thing popping off at the same time? I don't understand.
Same time.
It's the same thing on the same day. So the biggest issue that I have found is support. Like, yes, the people in this room the energy is lovely, and I love every bit of it. But there's no support. There's a lack of support.
it stops.
It stops. And even
show up and then it
stops. It's once you can't get anything else out of me, then I no longer see your face. And that comes from my own team.
Yeah.
Once I can no longer take you to the level of success that you
no
feel,
more.
once you can't use me, once you can't take from me, once you can't get the recognition that you deserve, because I have no problem building the table and providing you a seat, but you have to feed yourself. And people don't understand that.
I just got chills. Yes, girl.
So you have to be able to
I gave you the chair.
feed yourself.
I gotta do it for you.
Feed yourself. I mean, but seriously, like that's like the biggest struggle. That and funding. But that's a whole nother issue. But support, I think, outweighs funding, because if you have the right support, then the funding will come.
Boom. My biggest
Run
issue.
that back. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Yeah.
If you have the right support, the funding will come.
Boom. Build a house and they will come.
I mean, that was the question on itself. Next.
Like,
Nothing else we said.
my biggest issue during this whole process is small thinking people. Like, I'm a visionary, so I see things way beyond. And when I see things, I see the result, and then I work backwards. And then I figure out who I need to bring into the fold. And then I figure out what I need to do. And when I'm telling people these ideas, they're all for it. But when it comes time to put in their work, ghost. And I can't flourish in a city like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to find creatives. No, it's not hard to find creatives at all. No. It's hard to find creatives that are willing to work and get whatever they want off the ground, or for us to collab and make it as big as we want to make it. I like to work. I like to put in the work, so the results are fantastic, right? I do the little things, and I just don't. It's right, and people just don't. They don't be feeling me. They just be like, no, we're just gonna do this, this, and this. So with that, I decided to kind of become like this brand consultant, because I'm just like, you need to slow down, like on everything that you're doing, like. Quit doing this for the likes. If that's not what you want to do and who you want to be, then quit doing it for that. And understand that everything that you put out ain't going to be liked.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to ride with that. Everything ain't going to be great. I think you were just hinting towards that. Everything ain't going to be great in your business. So the small thinkers and people who don't like to do the work have been my major issue, because I'm a whole beast by myself. So I really don't really need you, but when I'm trying to pull this collaborative together, come on, work with me, you know what I'm saying? Right. So we can put Louisville on the map. We're a big city full of creators, full of people who know how to do things and what to do, but we don't want to put in that work. So if you want work, I'm looking for you. Because Kia Vision is definitely finna get big around here. Yeah.
I'll say that like the biggest struggle is myself. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, you took my answer, girl.
I'm in my own
soul. I felt that in my soul.
I'm in my own way, and this is something that I'm very transparent about. It's that again, because I am a jack of all trades, I just don't feel the necessary need to monetize everything. Like I'm really good at a lot of things.
And that's good though.
And it always like, I mean, I can set you up with the right people that can get you where you gotta go. And I'm like, I just want to do it for love and because I like it. And she's like, no. So I think that I'm sticking with this one thing because this is something that at this point I'm passionate about it, right? Like I'm still in my own way because I am an introvert. My first pop-up last year, I did the Juneteenth event. I literally the day before was like, I think I changed my mind. It's gonna be over 600 people there. Like I don't even like to talk to people. Like, and then she came and saw me and she was like, you're doing fine. Like you're doing great. But I really was concerned about like my introvert just. I don't like to talk to people. I think
you just have to think of what you're doing is not monetizing, right? But like return on investment, right?
Right,
You're
absolutely.
investing time. You're investing it, and that's going to bring you money. You know
right.
what I'm saying? In any
your
way.
Creativity. Like,
right.
Yeah. Your essence is what you're putting in to all of these things. And that's just like with everything, right? Like I do always encourage black women to monetize things, right? Like I never want black women to feel as if their time and their energy and their creativity shouldn't be of value, right? And sometimes that value does look like finances. It does look like a monetary value. And I always want black women to know that they are deserving of that. But, you know, and Dom and I talk about this a lot. Like some things, we do want that to just be for us. And that's okay too. We don't have to we don't always have to grind. Sometimes we can just like enjoy stuff and let that be that.
Yes. And I think the other thing is like when you start a business, everyone is like, yeah, you should be an entrepreneur. But nobody tells you when you get off that 9 to 5, baby, you working second shift.
Yeah, it's a second shift job.
Third shift.
Third.
Yeah.
Overtime.
I had to let my first shift go.
Right. So my creative hour, which I explain to everybody, my creative hour is from the hours of 3 a.m. until I have to go to work.
Hey.
And so my body naturally now wakes up at 3, and if it's not a workout day for me, then it's creative hour. And my mom is always like, when do you sleep? I'm like, no, I don't get it twisted because I'm the queen of the naps. So I get a nap in. But that's the most time I feel like I'm most creative, and I think it's just because I used to work third shift. So I used to be up at that hour, and that's the way my brain kind of functions.
Girl, you are mean.
But I literally am sometimes in my own way because there are people that have reached out to me that are like, oh, you should come and vendor this event. And I'll just pass it over because I really just have this fear of talking to people. And I'm getting out of my shell and out of my comfort zone. So after doing the Juneteenth event, I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, this wasn't that bad. And I made a profit, which I was like, okay, girl, you can do this.
And you made it here. So
yeah, and so, right, and there's that. And so I think that sometimes the struggle is I stand in my own way sometimes of being successful.
Definitely. You get that?
Oh, yeah, she took all my words. Baby, let me tell you, I am my worst critic. Like, even starting making cups, like, it just started was a hobby. It was fun.
Right.
And then, even though I was broke one Christmas, it was like, everybody getting cups for Christmas.
Period.
Like, that's how it started. And then my family was like, oh, well, my cup's better. I was like, oh, I can do this. And I did it because I like it. It's calming. Like, it's therapy to me. I can be creative and be perfectly fine. Like, my house can be completely silent. As long as I'm moving, I'm good. But then I'm like, this is when I want to do it. Like, why do I have to do it now? Like, it feels like a job. I don't want it to be a job. Now it's not. It's the love of my life. Like, Sit Pretty's having a ball right now. But it was, I don't want it to be a job. I don't want to feel like I have to work. And that's where I get with the custom orders. I'm like, they better like this because I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. Come on. I'm sensitive. Like, I'm a Gemini. Like, I'm sensitive. So I'm like, no, but nobody's never not once said, nah, sis, take it. So I'm like, okay, like, they like it. I'm doing good, but I am definitely my worst person. Like, I'm like, just get up and do it. Get it over with. You got it.
So what is like, kind of like for those of you who have like customer service or even just like interactions, what has been like, I guess, the most negative kind of interaction that you've had, whether that be with a customer or someone you've provided a service to?
Mine will be, how much is your cup? I say my price. Well, I can do it, or I can get somebody to do it for that. Or you don't got to. Okay, well, I'm not for you. Have a great day.
Period.
Next. Like, it's one of those. But it definitely or they'll ask, they'll be like, well, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's resin art. Like, If somebody asks, I'm telling. My husband looking at me like, why? Why not? You're going to find it. I found it on YouTube, so everybody else is going to find it. TikTok, social media is big. So I'm like, why not? Like, it's not harming me telling them. No. But because what I
not
do,
even that. Everybody can't do it
like
like you
like
anyway.
you.
Everybody can't do it like you.
What they
It don't
say,
even
what they say, you
matter.
can give them the ingredients, but they can't make your sauce.
They can't. So it's like one of those, like, yeah, yes, Riz and I are like, well, yes, I do it this way. And it's like, well, no, I could have did it this. Or I'm like, okay, well, I'm still not for you. So
Have
let's
a good
not
day.
argue. Have a good day. That's it.
It's that competitive piece that you was sitting there
Absolutely.
talking about, and it's unnecessary. Why can't we just be like, oh, that's great, or that's good, or how can I do it, right? Just
Because I'm going to tell you, I don't hold nothing back. I'm like, yep.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
This how I do it. This is what it
That's
is.
small thinking to me.
Absolutely.
For you to come for me about my own art that you like in reality. So just ask me how I done it. Just ask me so I can teach you.
I think for me, my brand was told that it wasn't inclusive, which can we cut something?
Yes.
Oh, I don't give a damn about that. I was like, wait. I'll be happy to have to ask.
Yeah.
You know, it's not inclusive of everyone. Well, it's not for everyone.
Period.
This is for me. I mean, it's for us by me. Like,
come on.
it's not for everyone. And I understand, and I have sometimes this, even at the Juneteenth event, the person that was helping me at the event was like, you know, I just feel like you have to incorporate things for other people. And I'm like, no, that defeats the whole purpose of why I created.
Back to All Lives Matter, right?
It defeats the purpose of why I created what I created. I want to give, you know, opportunity for women that look like me to be able to have cute tote bags that reflect things that they're actually thinking that they might not say out loud. And for me, I'll be saying whatever I want to say. So then there's that.
I'm definitely gonna need some stuff.
And then the stickers and all the things. I literally was, this probably wasn't a good idea, but I have my stickers on one of the cups I keep in my office. And a young lady came in and she was sitting in my office, and the sticker that was, you know, facing her said "Protect Black Women." And she was like, "From what?" And I was like, "Everything,
The world.
everything."
Why you asking?
Right.
Thank you,
If you
ma'am.
have to ask, then there's
There clearly there's an answer there.
So I think that was really one of the things. But then I got a reprieve even at that same event when a young lady came and she was like, "I love everything about this." She was like, and she spent that day, and that was the biggest moment of that day. She spent, you know, so much money, just she couldn't decide from what she wanted. And then the next week, she ordered some stuff for my Instagram, and she included in the note, "Saw you at the Juneteenth event, wanted to get some things for my family." And that made me feel like, okay, I'm on the right track, because I really started thinking like, am I not going to get sales because I'm not catering to everybody? Okay, then maybe I should. But then that confirmed what I already knew, is like, it's not for everybody. It's for my audience is my audience. And if you're not my audience, that's unfortunate.
For you.
Right. It's not for you. It's for somebody else. And so I think that for me, that was the biggest thing, is just being told that my brand wasn't inclusive. So it's not supposed to be.
I think if I would have learned that earlier on, I probably wouldn't have had as many negative interactions, right? And that's coming from a model perspective, and because I didn't have a brand at first. So I'm just trying to work with everybody and anybody, right? So this is where the race piece comes in play, and I didn't start noticing it until later on, where like I know that my level and quality of modeling is right where my counterpart is, but you'll continue to choose over me. And I started feeling some way about it until I started to understand that this is not for you. They're not for you. So what I started to do, this is why I changed my mind frame about it instead. Just tell them who you are, whether they accept it or not. They're going to have to, because you're going to look so good or going to be so great at it that they're going to have to accept it. So that's kind of where I started this unapologetically black side to my modeling. So anytime that I model, you're going to get the blackness of my modeling. And I'm going to make sure that you get it. So instead of seeing it as a negative and fighting the funk all the time, because that was the negative interactions I was getting, I'm like, well, you know, how come you don't know how to edit black skin? You know, you're a photographer. What are the issues here? And that's the issues that I would raise with my counterparts as they're giving me my pictures back or whatever the case is. And I would get these answers. Well, I just don't shoot black people a lot, or I'm learning these. And I'm just like, that's not an excuse because photography is an umbrella thing. You can't have that excuse. So what you're choosing to do is you're choosing to work with certain people, and I'm calling you out on it. So my negative interactions didn't come from a service. It just came from me calling out people. You know what I'm saying? And if I would have known my brand, and if I would have known where I stood, I probably wouldn't even have interacted with them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where how I come.
I agree. No, I mean, because I feel like, you know, I'm a jack of all trades as well, so I've been in everywhere, every field. I actually was a model, and as you were talking, I was thinking back to all the negative experiences that I've had,
that's
because
a lot.
let's just be all the way real. My background is I'm Native American more than I am African American. However, my features say that I'm African American, and so I am not dark enough to be a black model, but I'm not light enough to be the Native American model.
I'm right there with you.
And so as you were talking, I was just reliving why I stopped modeling.
See what
I
I'm
haven't
saying?
modeled in
why we got
18
Kia
years because they tried to put me in a box that I just refused to fit in. And actually, if you go to my website now, the very first sentence says, I will forgive you for trying to make me apologize for fitting into a box that I created for myself.
I like that.
Because everybody was trying to, no, you have to go here. You have to fit here. You have to do this. You have to look this way. Even with coaching, like you have to coach a certain way. You have to coach a certain type of person. You can't coach them. You have to coach us. And black people don't do coaching, and they barely do therapy, and they can pray their way through it, and they don't have relationships, so why do they need a relationship coach? Like, from every aspect, I was always just hit.
Diverted.
Negative comment.
Go.
Diverted,
Like,
yeah.
I became the Matrix because I'm like, bam, no, let's not, no.
Okay, wait a minute.
Go,
Come on,
Mary J.
break me down. Like, no. And then it was like, you know, not only am I the life coach that does the facilitations, but I provide the whole experience. So I cook. I feed you. I literally feed you, your soul and your stomachs. I feed you. But then why am I doing that? That's never been heard before. So now you're cooking. So now you're a caterer, and you're a life coach, and you're an event coordinator, and you're this. Yep.
Awesome.
All of
Yes.
Yep. And
I'm so glad you
Yeah.
said that you do that as a piece of your coaching. I think that's very important because it's very important. I do a lot of therapy of my own, you know what I'm saying? And if I don't relate to the person that I'm talking to, it's just not going to occur.
It's not going to work.
You know what I'm saying? And food is something that everybody can relate to.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
It's
it is a
the
very
common
good
ground.
piece to what you're doing.
Food is, like you said, it's a common ground. It's therapeutic, which is why I do it for me. I cook because it's therapeutic for me. That's my way of talking it out.
Right.
I don't measure anything. Listen, turn it on, and I get
brunch
to
in her house,
going.
what she was
You
saying.
know,
I heard brunch at her
Brunch
house.
and mimosa.
I thought I did.
Is that what you had said?
this is the second time I done heard brunch. I got you.
We need a Boss Babes brunch, please. BBB.
It has been received. Just send me the dates, and I will get it on the calendar. It's received. I got you. I got you.
Yes, girl.
Kids this week, so hold on.
We're not getting into that tonight, Zuri. We are just not getting into
Let's
that tonight.
focus.
Yeah, you know, that's another thing about like business, right? Where you do have the ups and you do have the downs and you have those trials, but like you also have so many things that happen that are rewarding, right? Like you have those really great experiences. Dom, you shared about that the customer who bought something at one event and then went and visited your site later and was like, I saw you at this event and I loved your stuff so much that I wanted to see more. I wanted to purchase more of your items. So, I mean, like, you can share another rewarding, but that's my next question is, what has been the most rewarding aspect of being in business or
Just being a
Can I?
you feel me? Just being in
I want to
business.
ride this wave right here. I want to say, honestly, because I try to be a humble business person. I know I'm good at what I do, but I try to be humble at it. So I love the fact that I am scouted.
That's awesome.
I was like, half of the things that I get myself into, people pull me into it. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of gives me a confirmation that you're going in the right direction, you're doing the right things, the right people are looking at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go for it, right? So just last week, because like I said, I'm a model coach, model and model coach. I've been looking for some opportunities to coach children, because it's easier to mold their minds. It's kind of easier to get with them. They're full of personality. So that's kind of how I want to jig when I start my business. So somebody reached out to me and she was like, hey, I want to know, and I'm dropping this piece of information for the first time. I have not told anybody. This is so inexclusive. I'm super excited about it. I've been jumping for joy for days. So she called me. I'm like literally riding home from UK because I work concessions in UK or whatever. And she was like, yeah, I have this opportunity to be an ambassador for model pageantry. Now, the pageant side is just the speaking side. The model side is what I do. So she was like, I want you to be the coach for them on a national level.
Come on now.
This is everything to me. So I'm super excited just to have this start, y'all. So, yes, that is like to be scouted. That's my point. To be scouted, to feel like she can do it, to believe in me is everything. You know what I'm saying? It helps to build me.
I think mine would be similar.
Thank you.
I think mine would be similar. It's just my goal is to be able to walk into a room and not have to introduce myself.
Ooh.
Because
I like it.
You know, I try to be humble.
Yeah.
However, this gift was not given to the weak, and it was given to me before I even had my name. So I know who I am.
Amen.
And what I can do. So my goal is to, walk into rooms and not have to introduce myself, and that actually happened. I walked into a group meeting, something similar to this, and somebody said, "Oh, that's Mika." And I said, "Well, wait a minute. Do I owe you some money?"
Don't worry about it, baby.
Right,
don't even worry about it, baby.
No, let's just because for me, everybody has a past.
Right.
And I became a relationship expert from dealing with bad, negative relationships. So some women, we might not have the best experiences because some of their men, baby daddies, brother, cousins, uncles, fathers, etc., may not have the best experiences with me. So when she said my name, it was kind of like, oh, wait a minute. But she's like, no, I follow you. I follow your events. We're friends on Facebook, even though you probably never seen me say anything, but I know who you are, and I love what you're doing. And I was just like,
it's a good feeling.
I bounced out that door. Like, I was just like, oh, shit.
Like, I'm famous. My mom made it.
But not only did she know who I was, but she said my name right, which means you've heard me say my name. Because it's people don't say our names right.
We know.
Come on.
We know.
Oh.
So for the fact that she said Mika, and I said,
Excuse me, did you say my name?
yes.
That's super exciting. I love it.
So I think for me, I'm looking more into. I love selling on the Etsy platform, and I love interacting. Yeah, First off, I'm obsessed. This year, I even told my friends this year I bought all your Christmas gifts from Etsy. I'm supporting only small businesses, which I did, and being a small business seller on Etsy, I got a lot of orders during the Christmas time because of that same reason from other small business owners. But I'm looking more into getting into wholesale. I had my first wholesale experience with Pocket Change, which was a great experience with them.
Nice.
But then on TikTok, which I don't post as much as I probably should, I am not one of those people
use
that
TikTok. It's so.
I'm not a big content creator, but I post enough when I have new products coming out and when I have things that I think that people should see. And a young lady that owns a Black-owned bookstore in Detroit reached out to me, and she was like, I'm looking for some wholesale items to have in my store. I really like, the stuff that you have out there. Your bags would be perfect for people who come to my store to carry out books when they come in. And I was like, oh, well, let's talk shop. So we're kind of talking through me doing some custom items for her, which, again.
Let me know, because I frequent Chicago a lot.
It's one person. I'm going to give it a try, But I'm going to try, and it's not really custom. It's more, the bags are going to be geared more towards reading. Most of my bags really are just like, geared towards just like things that are funny. But,
Like read it or not.
Black thoughts.
Black thoughts. They very much are. So we kind of talked more about having those same like black thoughts, but geared them towards reading. Okay. And so that's something I'm really excited about, is trying to get more into the wholesale area, because I'm getting my master's right now, so I really don't have time to devote.
Come on, Black Girl Magic.
Commercializing, baby. Yes. Say the word.
I don't have as much time as I would like to devote to my business, so wholesale would allow me to make the same amount of money or more on the level that I'm doing. Like,
but how does that work with production?
So I make everything in house. Like when it comes,
that's what I'm.
Yeah. So typically, when I get an order, like a wholesale order, if they say I want 200 bags, I take off work to crank it out.
Okay.
And I order everything.
Different.
Yeah. So I take off work to crank out everything that I need to crank out. When it comes to the stickers, I actually used to make them in house on my own printer, cut them, everything myself, and then I got a vendor to make my stickers because it was just taking so much of my time and materials. So I found a distributor that makes stickers, which is way easier, and I can get them restocked and out faster, and I can do a lot more a lot faster. But when it comes to those tote bags, baby, I be in there pressing them myself.
Period. I understand.
Yeah.
So, because Black women, you can outsource.
Absolutely.
You can outsource,
like,
okay?
Yeah.
Did you talk about what's most rewarding for your business?
It's a lot. Just having it, period. Like, just being able to have something that's mine. Like, it's my baby. I birthed it just like my child. And everything about it is rewarding. I have to be with my kids because my goal once in life was to have 10 kids and be a stay-at-home mom. And I still get to be a stay-at-home mom and work. But now I'm trying to figure out this balance because I'm like, now somebody got to help me around here now. I can't work and do this. But I'm like, wait, this is what I wanted. So like, I can handle it. I put my cape on. So one of those, still trying to find a balance, but definitely being able to be at home with my kids 24/7. Like, they get on my nerves. Huh?
That was my question.
2. They're boys. I'm a boy mom, so it's super fun.
So 4, really.
One just turned 11 December 22nd, and one's about to turn 10 January 19th.
And they are a
They
handful,
are,
honey.
yes. So I have like Capricorn, the beginning and end, and they're complete total opposites. Complete, but it's fun, and it's like definitely a balance in my house. But yes, just being able to be at home, and I'm actually doing my first event for my company. And I'm excited, a little bit nervous, scared, but excited and doing it. But I'm doing a tea social. I'll be in business for a year. Okay, y'all like tea?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
I felt like it sounded weird.
He was like,
yes, so I'm doing a tea social. I will be in business a whole year in March.
Come
So
on.
I'm like,
Oh, so you want Fair and Kia to host it? Is that what you're saying?
you know, you are on my list between you and
I'm at the
Bree.
top,
I'm like,
just so you
I know. Okay, I got y'all. But yes, I am doing a tea social, and the dress accordingly is going to be like Hillary Banks style, friend, the nanny style.
first of all, I'm coming to
Oh,
that.
period.
We're coming regardless.
I can't don't invite me. I might cry.
Invite or all.
Yes, everybody's invited. Come one, come all. But and with your ticket too, you'll get a customized wine glass from yours truly. So yes, y'all like fancy. I like fancy friends.
Okay.
No, but yes, and it is April 30th, so I'm super excited about that.
Right. I got
Yes,
time to
you
get
have
a
time.
good
So I got time for Kia to style me.
I got a time
Yes.
to get a good hat.
Come on,
I need a
Yes,
good
yes.
Hillary Banks hat.
So yeah, yes, yes. So,
love
yes.
Black
so
women.
being able to be free to do stuff that is definitely the most rewarding, and be able to do what I want to do, like hobby, personal wise.
Yeah.
Like, cause on my vision board now is now I have this going. I know how it's going, where I'm going, but okay, what's for me? Like, what's that self-care aspect? Even if it is taking a whole week, and I just take a whole week. This is what I'm gonna do. Take myself out to eat. Go to matinee, 12 o'clock, $5. Hey, I'm cheap. I'm gonna be on the budget. But just being able to do that is definitely fun. And I want to be a brand ambassador.
You are a brand ambassador.
I am.
There you go.
Period.
All right.
For yourself.
Come on.
Definitely. But I also want to do for other people. Like, I want to wear other clothes. I like taking pictures.
That's what I'm saying. You are a brand ambassador.
I know. I'm coming. Trust me. After this, I was coming. I was like, oh, my vision board works. It's right there. Don't even worry about
That's how
it.
we make them connections.
I'm on
That's
my
how we
way.
make them
We'll put you on the map
connections. That's what we hear. And during the midst of everything that we just talked about with what is the most rewarding aspect of your business, we had another participant come, Denise Now Johnson of Loch Ness Mama. Hi. And I cannot wait for you to share all about yourself. So far, we talked a little bit about like what's been rewarding in business, what's kind of been like your hardships of business. And so in your introduction, if you wanted to just give us a little briefing about any of that too that you've experienced. And then also, obviously, tell what your business is.
Okay, well, like I said, like she said, my name is Denise Johnson now. I'm a local loctician. I've been in business for a little over a year. Anything I want to apologize for being late and my bare face. This is not...
You good? You still
fine.
fine.
You're still fine. You're still fine. Okay, before she continues with that, she literally just came from work, honey. Okay, she just came from being
my shop is on Hirschboard, and I came all the way back home, so I'm just like, I was running, had to drop my kid off. He spent the day at the shop with me, so I'm a boy mom too. I have a 6-year-old, so I heard the ladies had sons, but I'm a local loctician. I'm recently married. I got married in September.
Congrats.
So we talked about hardships and the rewarding aspects of our business. Hardships. I don't know if we got enough time to talk about hardships. I mean, for me, I come from a higher ed background, so I worked in higher education prior to being a loctician. So, and I realized it was something that I could do, but it wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to do, like something I enjoyed. It felt like school 24/7. Like after graduating, you know, that last year where you get the itis, and I mean, there was its fair share of research. So trying to leave that, I ended up moving back home after living in Jacksonville, Florida, working at Florida State, and I took a job at the Exposition Center and trying to do, you know, coordinating, but not necessarily in the higher ed background. And I felt like God just kind of, pandemic happened, I started doing, people kept asking about my hair and who does it, and I've never had anyone else do my hair. When I started my hair, I lived in Bowling Green, and the cosmetology pool is really slim in Bowling Green, so I kind of, you know, started.
You can say what you want to say. I'm just saying.
I don't trust nobody to put my hair in a ponytail in Bowling Green, let alone, you know. So no shade to Bowling Green, but
no shade.
I wanted locks. I wanted to, so I started researching and just tried it out. There were times where I didn't think it was going right, but it started going well, and then fast forward, people kept asking me, and I was like, well, I do it myself, and they're like, well, you do mine? I was like, I started taking some to make extra money during the pandemic, and the business just took off. I didn't realize how many people.
Like that. You didn't even know.
Never imagined
to show you how
at all.
Was.
I never imagined how many people wanted locks or anything like that, and I found myself splitting time between my day job and trying to do locks because I really enjoyed it. And then I guess I didn't quit fast enough, and I was let go due to the pandemic, and I didn't go back. I just stayed. Doing locks.
Because I was
Come on, the vision was there.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say when you ask about the biggest challenge is really that leap of faith. Honestly, I feel like after that, you might be antsy to take a chance, but once you just jump in, it is what it is. And I think that was the biggest challenge. I would not leave my job. I wouldn't leave my 401k. I wouldn't leave my benefits. I wouldn't leave anything. So. He was just like, you know what, don't worry about it.
Same background.
I was literally headed to work, and they reassured me that this is not performance related. I mean, it was an event-based company, and there were no events happening at the wake of the pandemic. So I ended up doing hair in my house, and that was going too crazy. It was too many strangers. So next thing you know, like maybe 3 months later, I'm looking for a salon, and I've been there since.
Come on, yes.
So I'm very, very fortunate. I mean, as far as rewarding, I think the most rewarding is being able to be the shot caller. I've realized that a lot of the things that I had issue with in my occupation was just being told what to do. I am hard-headed.
I don't take directions at all either.
I didn't have jobs that were allowing me to be creative. I wasn't, so I just, that was probably the biggest thing.
Yes.
I mean, when you're a natural creative in your job or anything you're doing is not allowing you. Yeah, it doesn't allow you to express that. It's a curriculum. And personally, on top of that,
I was too black for higher ed.
That part,
And I would be all the way out.
And that's a whole nother episode.
You'll be back.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my students, all my students. If you're watching this, I do miss you all. I love you all. Some of you have matriculated out since, and I'm very proud. But the way I build rapport with my students is very much parental-like. That's what they respond to.
That's what they need.
And the background that I was working with, I was definitely working with at-risk students. So they're not going to respond to like this cookie-cutter personality. They want someone that's real.
How about that? They're not stupid.
That part. So, I mean, these are essentially adults. They're young adults, but, you know, when you work in the college system, the youngest person is 18. Yeah. So, you know.
They need that vulnerability.
Yes, and they need room to mess up. And I allowed that, but just feeling crunched by the staff that I worked with, or just, you know, being a young black woman coming in a position and maybe having subordinates who are older than you, that was difficult too.
But I think what we need to realize in higher education, because I was at U of L, and I was at the law school.
Ooh.
There are also in cookie cutter positions, right? They probably were you at some point. And then just kind of was like, I'm just gonna fold. Right?
I don't got the patience they got to
We
hang
not
out.
folding.
I don't got the patience to stick it out. You got it. My best friend is still holding it out. Okay. I was gonna try to stick it out to clear those student loans, but I said, you know what?
I got that too.
I'm gonna keep
Somebody got that cut up.
Come on, little loans, we out. We ain't gotta do that. So.
Whether or not the government forgave me, I forgave me.
I received my Carver. I did all that. That's grand.
There's no debt.
Man, Joe Biden.
My debt was erased.
Jesus paid it off.
I'm ready for them to refill my PBT.
Okay. Well, I mean, we are going back to NTI, so
that's what I said. Come on, let's
run it back.
And that's fine.
And not only that,
I got boys.
200, 250, whatever they were sending for them kids.
It was worth saying. I mean, because you know, when you're a boss babe, you got a lot to do, right? Like you got to run your business, run somebody else's business, run your kids' business, run your people's business. Like you got a lot to do. That's why you a boss babe.
Especially when you're in the infancy stages of your business. You're the admin, you're the
everything in your business.
And we be signing everything talking about, we really appreciate your
It is me.
our business.
It is me the whole time.
Directors,
No staff. No
everything. We love you.
I just got finished working with Tony. He's behind the scenes, y'all. I just got finished working with Tony. So when I was writing all these things I needed to say, right, I'm like, am I a we or am I I? Like, who am I?
We.
Yeah.
Like, am I a we or am I I? Like, who, like, how do I write this? Do I say we did this?
I think for me, my mom is a pastor, so I grew up a church kid, and she said, if you keep saying I, it's always going to be just you.
Oh, okay.
So
That's a good way.
go ahead and put it out there. It's a we, because at some point, this is going to be so big, you're going to need some help. You're going to have to hire somebody.
It's so funny that
So
you said that, because
good.
you probed that question to yourself, and I literally was sitting with my friends, and I was like, you know, I was out, and someone was like, lock this mama. It was a great experience, don't get me wrong, but eventually I want to, you know, train people under me and have a business. So I'm at the point where I'm trying to separate myself from Loch Ness Mama. I don't want them to be, oh, she's Loch Ness Mama. I actually work at Loch Ness Mama. I get my hair done at Loch Ness Mama.
Wait. I do get that. But I think you still might want to.
You want that to be my name?
Loch Ness Mama. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're doing. So do that, but don't separate it.
You don't think I should?
No.
So what? So
Because I like Loch Ness. I would love to call you that.
So that's like that's always like a question within branding, right? Like, do you separate you and yourself
'Cause when does
from
it
your
cut
brand
off?
and from your
Because
product?
you are yourself. You are your product.
But the way that you do that is you just create those boundaries of like time,
There you go.
and of effort, and of like what you're going to show up for of your own time, right? So like you can still be Loch Ness Mama, and Loch Ness Mama can be this entire entity, and you still get to be Denise Johnson. At the end of the
All day.
Let me tell you, every day, Monday through Saturday, Monday through Sunday, my phone is on Do Not Disturb at 7. You see me in public, yes, but I'm all that. I can be Sip Pretty, I can be Ghost in the League Travels, I can be Keenan's wife, I can be who you know. Like, I'm all of that. But at 7 o'clock,
We're done
don't
here.
die.
That might have been the biggest hurdle.
Because it's a rap. Because I had to learn. Like, I have to create those
Shut it
boundaries
off.
because
That was probably the biggest hurdle for me
Like,
in my business.
me,
Shut it off.
Yeah,
I'm not a
You're
naturally
also
assertive
cutting off
person.
your money though, and I think that's probably
no,
where
and
we
it's
have the
issue.
issue of cutting off the
Yes.
And I was
Because
gonna say that
the boundaries.
and you
Like,
want
oh,
to
it's
dive
only
into
10. You wanna
everything.
be like, oh, I want this
What's
money,
money?
but I like my time.
Yeah, so I think that that's also the same as like although I may get orders on Saturday and Sunday, the library by Dom is closed.
Like, I'm not looking at that. Like, I see the
It's
notification.
closed. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yes, that's what I like to see. Pay invoices.
Right.
Come on. But Monday, I'll get at you.
Right.
Now,
'cause I
sometimes
need
I
some
will
time.
be in the spirit on a Saturday. I'm like, oh, it's raining. I ain't doing nothing.
Absolutely.
I would, because I'm feeling it. But you have to learn how to, because people will inbox you, come, hey, what you doing? I need this. What about this cup? I got this idea. I'm like, okay, and I'll look at it.
That passion becomes
Yep.
something else.
Because you will burn yourself out. And I think that's where I was with Sit Pretty, because it's something that I love to do. And every time I got an order, because I was so happy that I was a business, as soon as I seen it, I was like, all right, I got to go do this.
Immediately.
Okay,
But
and I
isn't
want to
that
push
part
it
of
out.
being a baby business, because if you think of yourself as a baby, a physical baby, when babies see candy, when babies see these little bitty things, they go for it. That's just a part of being a baby in the business and learning when to
Facts.
draw the line.
Because I was that. I was
It's
like,
a
ooh.
maturity thing.
Like, and I also wanted, because there's such, I'm big on customer service. So I'm like, no, y'all not going to say I didn't respond.
Yeah.
Here. Like, and you're not going to say it took me 10 days to get your, even though I tell you 10 days, it might be 3. And it's like, here, because I wanted
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But you're still going to get
And
that but in the morning. But after 7, I had to, no,
That's
I have
important.
to calm it down. Because I still have
Boundaries,
kids.
baby.
I still at home. Like, I still got to grocery shop and do all that. So.
Yeah.
Because you're still a
You're still a
person.
person.
still a person.
Is that what you're saying?
Like,
Okay,
okay.
you're not a superhuman. You're still like
Yeah.
you're a human running
Celebrities
this
deal
business
with that, y'all.
entity.
Yeah.
I think that's
Right.
harder for me though, just because I work directly with the individual, and some of my clients I've had to like have conversations with, because some can be very needy. People really enjoy getting their hair done, and I think a lot of people through me just putting work out there have been inspired to get locks. So when I get new people who haven't really done their due diligence to research and look at the process, and I'm explaining, they want to get in every 2 weeks. And anybody that's familiar with that is not healthy for your hair. So it's a struggle. Like, even if I tell clients or anything like that, I have people pop up on me in the shop. I have people that'll write my husband, that'll write like other clients. And
Not all money is good money. You have to
writing that in your description whenever you're getting booked.
What do you mean?
Like, so if you're a new client, right, just put in the description, like if you're a new client or an existing client that's just starting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not going to be able to get your hair done every 2 weeks.
Oh, yes.
Understand the product. So you still have clients that still come to you.
I
after
try
that
to
and
do
be like,
consultations before to verse people. Even when they come, I say, so why locks? Because what I don't, I've had somebody call me like,
"It's
it's
a good thing to
frizzy.
do, though."
It's frizzy. And I'm like,
It's supposed to be.
Baby, that's the
Never
process. That's the part of
you
it.
know, like and I've tried
Just
to
in
put
case.
content out there to like educate people in between and stuff like that. But I do consultations for that very matter, just so people know that like this is not a wrap around hairstyle. Like, I locked my hair because I was tired of spending money. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on my hair, and then I just wanted it to grow. So like, it's not one of those things that you tend to like you would loose tresses.
Right.
You have to let it really do
Do
its
its
thing.
thing.
So when I get people like, I get people like, oh, I want to look like this or something, you can't really fall in love with like someone's locks that you've seen, because there's no guarantee yours will look like that. I tell people all the time, it really depends on your texture. So yes, I can take your inspiration photo, but then I can show you examples of probably like what your hair would turn out, because it really depends on like your texture, your curl pattern, just a lot of things. But those ladies or men who get it because it's a cute style, it's going to be hard to have your locks.
So it's more
longevity.
like retraining the thinking of hair, right? Because we're just so used to being a pop up and I want this.
Because
So
most
that's what
people show me
relaxed
the
hair
styles
did.
that it's like matured locks. It's never the budding stages or the starter
Right,
stages, and
right,
they're not
right,
realizing to get there. You gotta kind
go.
of. You said, "Baby, we gotta crawl." Before, like you gotta
But
get there.
that's like your business though, right? But like it's like you have this like idea and this vision in your head of like, this is what I want my business to look like, and so that means it's gonna happen tomorrow. But that's not how that works. Like,
You have. It sounds cliche, but you have to trust the process. Like, and I
That's
had
the budding process.
I'm telling
of
you,
your business.
literally, that's in every aspect. I say I learned so much from locking my hair, and that may have been how the business was able to grow. Because I mean, doing people's hair is great, but for me, I want to have a more intimate relationship with my clients, which is why I'm about to go to members only and cut it off, because I want to be able to notice if your texture's changing. I want to be able to notice, if there's something going on in your lifestyle. I had a lot of clients that were expecting this year. So that was another bit of research I had to do to make sure their hair's not drying out. That postpartum, when they're losing it and stuff like that. I want to make time for me to research those things. I've never wanted to I don't want to be this factory that just gets people in retwist and style and get them out. Like, and I personally don't continue to get to know people. I want to take my Loch Ness and just grow that and then take new clients as needed. I want to have a more detailed, evolution chart of my clients.
Somebody remind me to get on the members only list, please. Somebody remind me. Yeah, get on the members only list. Put it in the memo.
Come on, be a part of the Loch Ness. I don't have anything happening.
All I need is 3 inches. Come on.
Anything happening
That's what I'm talking about. Black women network. They gonna network. That's what they gonna do.
Be part of Loch Ness.
I'm just saying.
But I also think that when you talk about that crawling before you walk, I think that also as a creative, that's so hard because your brain moves so fast. And then before you know it, I live in a studio apartment. Before I know it, I got a whole closet full of stuff that I'm not even. Oh my God! Because my brain is moving faster than the products I can shell out, or even when I create products, if they don't test well. But now I got a closet full of stuff. Now, luckily for craft people, it's a little bit easier because you can de-stash and you can sell off the stuff to other craft people, their groups and stuff you can go on. But still, this, before the new year, I had to do a major purge. And luckily, one of my friends was really getting into crafts, and I was like, "Oh, girl, let me." I'm gonna bring you a box of stuff
for your inventory alone.
And that's because my brain moves so fast, and I'm I literally every day I'm oh man, even this week alone, I called my mom. I was like, yo, I have a really great idea, and she was like, oh yeah, that's she was like, yeah, that's good, but you don't got no room for stuff like that. So what are you gonna do?
You need mom, and you're not gonna stomp on my bitch,
right? She was like, I need. Do we need to buy you some kind of bookshelf or something? Some kind of contraption where you can
some containers,
some containers where you can keep all this stuff. And I'm I really honestly my place is so full of stuff now that I'm what am I gonna do? And that's why I'm ooh, the Juneteenth event, I'm just gonna bring out all these things that I have in these boxes. Yeah. They're not necessarily things I've branded to sell, but I have to get rid of some of this stuff because it's just so much stuff just packed down. But I think that that's part of learning your brand and not trying to jump in too fast. And I think that a lot of times when you're in a new business, you see things, especially if you're a creative, you see things and you're oh, I can do this, I can do this and this and this and this. And before you know it, your hand, like an octopus, your hands is everywhere.
You gotta know your limits.
I don't have a dining room no more. I took my dining room now.
And just created something out of it. It had to become, the dining room had to become the workspace. The sit pretty room. So I do have one more question for everybody. Yes, I can do that. And the question is, what is the most, because I wanted to end on something light, right? Okay. What is the most embarrassing moment you have had within your business?
Ooh, let me think.
Embarrassing, right?
Yeah, I can't be the first.
One of them things was oh boy.
Let me tell y'all. I left work April 9th, was my last day at Norton Healthcare. And then I was okay, how I'm going to sell these cups besides online? So I was vendors. So I did my first vendor event, which was a Mother's Day brunch. Shout out to Portia Ellis, Black Girls Conquer All, which went really great. So I'm okay, I got this. We going outside. So I'm did Manhattan on Broadway. We was inside. The next one, we was 4th Street Live. We was outside. I'm okay, I'm outside. It's hot. I was babe, we got to go get a tent. Let's go get this tent. It said 30 seconds on the box, but everybody else is ready, and we fumbling with this tent. I'm just put it down, just put it down. Be prepared. Where's the camera? Always make sure you set up. If you're a vendor, set up at home first. Absolutely. I did the table, I had my decorations, but the tent, we was supposed to try it. Then the wind started blowing, so I'm holding on to this, but this part of the tent's not up. But this part is, and I'm yes, it's for sale. You can have it.
Your tent just blowing away.
But now we got that locked down. Period. Let me tell you. We can put up a tent pop, 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 pop.
They had this cart.
Oh, yeah.
At your fashion show event. Yes. And I was what is that? Where you get that from?
Yes.
And she was oh girl, I got this cart from. I was they only had one trip to the car. Here I am carrying stuff
Well,
No,
first of
I
all,
told you
we
I've
need that
learned.
cart information.
Let me tell you,
Because
it's
when I
an
tell you
extra
she got
large
the car,
wagon.
and it was a huge wagon. I said,
It's a wagon. It's called the extra large wagons. It's worth every $130. I'm telling
Is
you.
anybody taking notes?
It's this like it's long, and you know.
when I
like,
say they made one trip to the
everything.
car, and I'm like,
I have all 6 boxes, tables, and chair, and we just
and fits
wheel
in
it
there.
out.
That's what the one
I
thing I was
learned.
like, oh yeah.
That's what it was.
I
Y'all was
learned.
over looking fancy.
I learned my lesson. Be prepared.
I think the biggest embarrassing thing for me, and because I'm more of a stationery shop, so I do stickers, notebooks, totes, and stuff like that, is I got all. This year, I decided to give all my like close friends planners for Christmas. Planners that I was so proud of. And then I get one of the planners, and I spell remember wrong.
Oh.
And then I get another text from a friend. She was like, you know, the planners are only Monday through Friday. But in my mind, I don't book things on the weekend. So of course I made these planners using my brain. Because the weekends are for me. Saturday and Sunday I want to brunch, or I want to be up on my couch with my dog looking at Golden Girls all day. Like those are the options.
I just did that the other day.
And Sunday is for Bedside Baptist, and then laundry and things like that. So there's no plans happening on the weekend. So when she texted me, she was like, the planner looks great, but I can't put my daughter's games and stuff because they're always on the weekends. I was like, oh my God. And I printed every one of these planners with the same interior. So your planner, it's only Monday through Friday. But and this was my first time making planners. Again, I'm new, like outside of the stickers, like stationery is new. So I was just trying out, and I love to use them as guinea pigs. So they have tons of things, because when I get new ideas, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna make this thing for you. And so the planners, but I realized like there was another stationery item that I made. It was like a little notebook, and it says small business owner on it. And I ordered 50 of them, and they're off center. Every last one of them. The logo in the middle is like off center, and I'm like, because of the way that I am as a perfectionist, I'm like, I'm not selling these.
Yeah, she refuses to sell.
I'm not selling. I'm gonna have to give them out.
I'll take one half off.
She's like,
Bother
we'll make it
me
work.
everybody else, I'll take it.
See, you gonna make the best out
Black
of it.
women gonna make it work.
I give
There's
up.
a way.
But you know what? There's another business I follow on TikTok, and she talks about those oopsie moments that you have, but she markets those anyway. She was like, she calls them she sells in part of her Etsy shop, they're called oopsie items. And they're just very discounted, so that she doesn't have to keep the stock, but she still makes money on it.
A little piece of trash.
Right. And so, she makes, a oopsie section. So I said, that's where I'm going to have to sell them, because I can't in earnest sell these at my regular full price with them not being the way that I would want to have my product out there. So, yeah.
Put some bedazzle on them.
That's all you gotta do. Put some bedazzle. What do?
So you couldn't add a little art right there to kind of make it.
My mom even was like, ooh, sell them as customs, and then put vinyl with people's name on the off-center part. I was like, ooh, Mom, that's not a bad idea.
But for real though, that's
That
where
could
I come
work.
in.
There's always an option. Yeah.
Anybody else have an embarrassing business
full
moment?
price.
I will say, when I first started, I had to really learn time management. It's not a strong suit of mine, clearly. But I had to really learn, and before I had a booking site, I was just like a pilgrim, chiseling people's names into stone in their appointments, just writing it down. And when I first moved into the shop, the day seemed to go by so much faster. And there were more and more people coming in. And when I get anxious, my armpits tingle, and I start sweating, and I'm just like all over the place. And I don't know how, but I had 3 people booked at once. And I'm just sitting there, like, trying. And for me, I hate seeming unprofessional. I hate seeming like, and if I do something that is inconvenient, I try my best to, like, relieve it. If I have to cancel, I try to get you in the next day or the following day.
Yeah.
Or if I can't, if our schedules don't meet, give a good discount or something like that. So when I say, like, it shook me so much, I couldn't bounce myself back in the day. So now my mood is affected between every appointment, because I like to be pretty talkative and personable in my appointments. And I was just like so defeated. And this is like maybe second week in being in the shop, and I was like, this is not going to work. Like, I don't know. I said, I need a secretary, can't afford that. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But, I got a booking site, but that was probably the most embarrassing, because they were not people that I knew. They were just people that found my information through social media. So for that to have been the first impression, it killed me.
I can see that being a thing. I think for me, I'm not easily embarrassed, so it takes you're going to have to really work hard to do that. But I'm easily embarrassed by my own doings, right? But I won't show it. So I'm just going to tell you just some times that I was just embarrassed, but you probably never knew it. And that's okay. So I'm a model for lingerie, okay? So, like, the first time that I had to model it, I don't know if you ever put lingerie, get out there in front of 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. It's very hard, to do. So you want to talk about some sweating of some armpits in some lingerie. You want to talk about trying to just overall smell yourself to make sure you're good. So throughout these years of modeling lingerie, I had to learn how to navigate that. So my most embarrassing moments is figuring out, do I look good in this lingerie? Am I confident enough in this lingerie to show people what I'm supposed to show them? Because if I'm out here as a model, you're looking at me for confidence. You're looking at me for everything that you're supposed to. Yes. So I had to learn how to use my embarrassing moments and turn them into a strength. Because otherwise, it was going to show in my modeling, and I wouldn't have been a good modeling. And I just would have used those moments to deter me instead of build me. Absolutely. So I use them to build me in my embarrassing moments, but you're never going to know that Kia is embarrassed. I'm going to play it off like nothing ever happened, okay? Because that's the best way to do it.
If I ever trip in front of any of y'all,
like,
I'm playing dead.
Like, don't worry about that. Like, that was planned.
If I trip and fall in front of any of y'all, I am playing dead. I'm not getting up.
I'm
so all y'all laugh,
back.
you're going to feel like shit because I'm
I'm laughing too. I'm playing dead.
oh my gosh,
Like a whole injury, have a whole my leg done broke, make y'all feel all bad.
I'm telling you. And y'all gonna be like, oh my God, we done laughed at her dead self. Like,
I don't know who that girl was, but y'all laughed at her though. I was laughing at you. No, you wasn't.
I went to the Fade to Black party sidebar and I fell down those steps. Don't ask how. And I played dead.
First of all, nobody saw you.
My husband,
It don't matter. Nobody saw you.
Everybody's
Is she okay? She's dead.
Honey, you better play along. The wife died.
just drag the body.
Take him by the leg.
No, he ain't even playing along. He like, get up. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, no, I'm dead, honey. I'm dead.
So you okay? You okay?
Oh my God.
No.
What about for you, Mika?
Oh goodness. So like I'm my own little personal comedian, so I don't really.
You laugh at yourself.
I don't get embarrassed easily because I'm always laughing at myself because I mean I'm funny. But I'm funny. But because I do so much, like I forget when I go to certain places, like especially if I'm hosting something, I forget what my title is in that moment because some people need me as Mika the coach. And some people hired Mika the chef or Mika the creative aspect or Mika the consultant. I forget sometimes what my title is, so I have to be like, what you want? What you booked today?
What
service do you need?
Where you going with this?
Who you call? You know.
Let me switch my hat
And
real
then
quick.
and then I go by Mika Sharice per my husband because he had to have a stage name. So that's my name. But then, you know, I'm also Mimi. You know, so depending on where I'm at, I'll stand up and be like, yeah, and I'm
Wait.
Y'all know me.
You know who I am. You know what I showed up to do.
Like I really there has been situations where I've been hosting and I forgot my name because I answer to a lot of different names. I answer to mama by a whole bunch of kids. And some of them are not mine. So, you know, that has been the biggest, I think, if anything was embarrassing to me, it would be that. But then you laugh it off. Hey, you know, call me Miss Marshall if you're nasty. I don't know, like, hello. I mean, you know, just depending on what kind of mood you in. Like, how do you feel? You know, it's whatever. But I have had those moments where I've created, because I am the creative aspect of my whole business. Just want to throw that. Everything comes through me. So I was doing the business cards and the flyers, and I put my own address on there instead of. Praise God for the building, but I forgot the address, so it had my home address on a lot of stuff that had to go in the garbage because
My
Yeah,
husband was like,
showing up at your door.
"Hey, my husband said, I'm gonna need you to change the address because that ain't the
Because
address."
they will. They'll show up.
I would have been cringed. I'm like, oh my God. I put my stuff out there. Somebody go find
So they come and get me.
They gonna be outside.
What's it? Like I didn't have it twisted. No.
Oh no, please, Lord. I done had people call me on Facebook. I done had people like,
Willow, won't they?
they'll comment and be like, check your DMs. Even though my bio said, do not DM me in big letters.
Because I won't answer.
Can we go back to the comment you made about people contacting your husband? Because that's a no-no.
When he
To get my
when he wrote
attention.
me- when he sent a screenshot, and I didn't know what to say. And for me, owning a business, I'm not an assertive person. So owning a business has forced me to assert. You have to. You cannot. And I'm telling you, so conflict gives me a fair share of anxiety. So having to address certain things that I'm not happy with, it just was an uncomfortable situation. But my husband, and like people will write and be like, do Denise have any appointments? And he's a business owner too, so it would be vice versa. If he's selling plates, say like, Rob got more plates left, and I'm like, dude, I have nothing to do with Rob Eats. Like nothing. I'm never there when he's doing a pop-up shop or anything. I'm literally at the shop. But I've had people do that. They'll write my sister, and that's why sometimes I don't like having to make statuses saying, you know, guys, don't harass
On
anyone
another
else.
day, can we have a whole conversation about boundaries?
Don't harass my family. But okay, yes.
It'd be the ones that are comfortable with you.
Because
though, is what I've
I
learned.
need boundaries.
It's never people that I don't
Always the
know.
loyal ones because they feel like they have.
Yeah, it's
Because
never
now
people that I
you feel
don't
like
know.
you can just, you're a part of my life.
It's always
It's
those
not.
comfortable people that like, I'll have people that I ain't talked to literally since high school. I graduated in 2009. I'll be like, hey, Denise, you got something for me? I'll be like, I literally haven't talked to you since senior walk. I don't understand.
I'm screaming.
Like, you know what I mean?
If
Like,
you
to think
ain't
like
talked to
that.
no business person since high school, you know, I mean,
We're not the same person.
approach them through their website or something like that. Don't just be in their DMs.
And honestly, if you're talking about high school, isn't that 10 years ago?
For some of us, it might be 20, 30.
We're not gonna say how long it was for you.
10, 20, what
Don't
are we
do
doing?
that. Okay, don't do that.
Don't do that.
All right.
Don't be that person.
Don't do that.
Don't be that friend.
You in my business.
Don't do that. I want to thank you all so much, right? Like, because
Thank
now
you for the
I feel like every
input.
time I do one of these episodes, I always need a part 2, right? Because like, there's just so much to cover in such a
I would
short
like to
amount
come
of
back with a
time.
beat face.
And
But you're so gorgeous already. But a beat
so it sounds like we're going to get a Boss Babes part 2, but it's also sounding like the Boss Babes is going to be a brunch. So
Ooh, I like
brunch.
that.
I'm feeling brunch with Boss Babes. I'm feeling a panel with this brunch of Boss Babes.
Yes, that'd be good.
You know, you see how my brain just goes.
I love that. I love that.
All right.
I love that.
But before we go, I do want to go ahead and give them the opportunity to share any of their booking sites, social media information, and anywhere where you all can go and find them. And again, make sure you check out their sites, share their pages, purchase their products, book them, use their services. These are women out here who have literally been building from the ground up. And we all know what it's like to just be building from the ground up. So I'm going to go ahead and start over here. Nika, can you just tell us where they can find you, whether that be your location that we are currently in?
Oh, where are we at? 728 South 26th Street. I told you I did my home address. Right next door to Lyles Mall. We are not Lyles Mall. Let me go ahead and clarify that. We are not.
You're saying that.
I'm sorry. We're working on that in Jesus' name. But for all
For all intents and
For
purposes?
all contacts is lifeaccordingtome.com. You can find out anything about booking the garden, booking me. Both of my nonprofits are on there. Everything that has to do with lifeaccordingtome.com is where you can get all the information at.
I am everywhere. Just find me. Just say my name and it'll pop up. No, just playing. Missouri. Hey. No. But I am on social media, Facebook, Sit Pretty, Instagram _Sit Pretty. My website's www.ghostedcreations.com. If you want a customized cup, if you're trying to go on a girls trip or anything else vacation-wise, let me put my travel hat on. You can catch me at ghostedelitetravels.com. And on Facebook and social media, Facebook, Instagram, Ghost and Elite Travels.
I am on all platforms at The Library by Dom, including Etsy. And if you want to purchase my affirmation book, you can find me also by my name, Dominique Clark, on Amazon.
Nice. Come on, book.
Come on, book.
You shouldn't say that to you.
Okay. So, everybody, I'm also on all social media platforms. I am rebranding. So, all of my social media platforms will be at Kia Vision. So, I have an at Kia Vision on Facebook, but on Instagram, I am at Kia V Models. Hit me up.
Okay, they save the best for last. No, I'm just kidding. On all social media platforms, I am Loch Ness Mama, LOC.
Come on.
DNESSMAMA. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I will be transparent. I do nothing professional on Twitter. I speak my random thoughts. So don't try to book an appointment on Twitter. But I have booking pages on all of those platforms. And, yeah, my calendar, you can access it. Or you can go to transformationstudios.com, and that will also direct you to my personal booking site.
And as you know, you can find Love Thy Belly on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Love Thy Belly on Instagram and Twitter, and Fair and Kia on Facebook. I will go ahead and tag all of these amazing people who are here with us this evening, and you can check out their sites. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel, Love Thy Belly. The episode will be entitled Love Thy Entrepreneur Life. And thank you all so much for sharing your time with us, sharing your knowledge. And thank you all for everything that you've done. And at this point in time, all that happens is I just keep talking, and you all can keep talking too. And